If you're looking for efficiency and responsiveness, I would really say go for it. Go with Bantu, because based on our experience of working with them, it was a really productive relationship where we actually work together hand in hand to address the needs of our volunteers.
Hi, my name is Trisha and I work at the campaigns team at WWF Singapore.
And hi, my name is June and I also work at the campaigns team in WWF Singapore.
In WWF Singapore, we really believe in people living in harmony with nature. That means that we look at all our natural resources that we depend on, like food, water, and air.
For me, what I do is really manage the volunteers as well as build community relationships. A large part of my job is to really just to engage with the volunteers on the ground itself.
We had a database of 2,000 volunteers already. The problem and challenge that we had was to actually organize them in a centralized platform and also segment them properly. So we didn't really have the tools that we in place to properly organize all the volunteers that we had coming in, which is why Bantu came in at a great time. I met the founder of Bantu and he came up to me and he asked me if we had a platform where we can actually organize volunteers, and I said no. What I really liked about it was that we were sort of doing a trial and error. We kind of tweaked what we needed at that point. You could tell me, you know, I can do this, I can do that. We can do different depending on what we really wanted and how we wanted to segment our volunteers and separate them. So that was something that was a big draw for Bantu and WWF. This year for Earth Hour, we had 40,000 people come for 3 days, which was a really massive event for us. One of the major things that we accomplished this year was that we actually went as zero waste as possible. We actually managed to save over 10,000 disposables throughout the 3 days without using any single-use plastic at all. The other thing that was really good was that we reached about 6.9 million people online. Because of the scale of this event was so huge, we really had to make sure that we had as much manpower in the ground as possible. For Earth Hour, we had about 350 volunteers sign up throughout 3 days, and we really couldn't have done it without our volunteers.
As a single person who was running the event itself, it was useful because I was receiving real-time updates on my volunteers' availability. It really made it very easy and flexible to schedule these volunteers. So what really stood out to me when I was using Bantu was two key aspects. So the first one was actually the whole user experience of the platform itself. It was really very intuitive. When I was first introduced to it, it took me an hour to really familiarize myself with the whole platform and all its functions. Basically, from creating the project itself all the way to recruitment and also the aftermath of it, reporting and analysis of it was really very efficient, very quick, and just really at the snap of the finger. Especially for me, because we engage with about hundreds of volunteers on a day-to-day basis. It's very simple for them as well as for the volunteers themselves to use it, because they can actually go online and update their status anytime they want, to update the time slots that they want to volunteer for, and that was really useful, especially in huge events like Earth Hour. The second aspect that I really loved about working with Bantu is the responsiveness of the customer service team. So we work very closely with Bantu. They respond very promptly and they do really honestly take the suggestions into considerations, and we do see some of it being implemented, which really help to ease the workflow itself. My favorite feature is the reporting function itself. So it's really where I could download information of all my volunteers and I could glance at it at one shot. So things like from the number of times they volunteered to the number of hours and to which projects they tend to go for. So it really makes it easier on our end as well to really analyze what are the kind of volunteers that we're working with here and how do we actually improve their volunteer experience as well with WWF together with the help of Bantu. To date, we have roughly onboarded over 800 volunteers onto Bantu itself, and for each and every single one of them, it really helps to create a very personalized relationship between them and also between WWF itself through the use of Bantu, as opposed to previously when we didn't really have a platform to work with. It was really difficult for them to communicate directly with WWF.
Makes us the most happiest is at the end of the day, after a long project that we've done, the impact is that we really move people on the ground and get them to stand up and, you know, do something for nature.
Yeah.